In Southwest Florida, where I live and work as a realtor, insurance, homeowners insurance, is the major issue keeping homes unaffordable. Rates have tripled over the past few years. So, to provide information to the public, I invited an expert to the channel. FLB, is that correct?
Yes, FLB Insurance
Insurance
Agency.
companies, Chrystie Castillo has answers to most of your questions. No matter if you're buying a home or if you own a home already, if you have specific questions or if you're shopping for insurance, don't hesitate to contact her.
Thank you very much, Barbara. My name is Chrystie Castillo, and I am a local insurance agent with over 20 years experience with property and casualty. And most recently, I represent FLB Insurance in Cape Coral, Florida. And we are, like I said, available 5 days a week, 9 to 5, and we work with carriers, several of the leading carriers. We're a broker. We shop your business as well. And we also help out when there's something that needs to be done, like inspections or repairs. We have referrals and things like that to help our clients.
Well, that's great, but I always wonder, especially when I see my bill, what made prices go up like this?
In truth, it's the cost of repairs from all the storms, from the hurricanes. So that's what we've been seeing um, as it's been going up. But the good news is that the market is on the stabilizing trend. We're starting to see the
That's
rates
good.
go down a little bit, not as much as we would like to, but with that as well, there's other companies, at least half a dozen that have moved into the state this year, that'll make it a little bit more competitive for our customers.
Well, that's good. I notice there's a lot of companies coming into the state, and that's really important because so many's left, and that
Yeah.
drove prices up too. What can
Yes.
homeowners or buyers do to reduce their insurance costs?
So what they can do, always try to, well, if they're buying a new home, go for new construction or the newer the construction. If they have a hip roof, that's even better because that's up to a 40% discount on insurance.
And what is a hip
And
roof? Because the
oh,
average
a hip
person on the street does not know this.
These are like the pyramid type roofs that you see that are not like this. They're kind of like this more.
Exactly.
And they do provide because they are safer and they are a lot more secure in windstorms than traditional gables. They tend to give up to a 40% discount on home insurance on the wind portion. Another thing, if it's not a newer home, they can never go wrong with having a newer roof within the last 5 years, new water heaters, new AC, just kind of upkeep with the houses.
Okay.
Hmm.
Understandably.
Yes.
So the best type of property to buy, obviously, is a newer home, which would have the impact windows, would have the
Correct.
elevation, but we're not going to talk about flood insurance. That's going to be another day.
Right.
But they would get a better discount as buying a 1960 home that's sitting in a hole in the ground where everything's original.
Right. Right. So it's up to code. And so when everything is up to the most recent building codes, the insurance companies tend to look more favorably on that because they're assuming that the chance of having a loss is a lot less.
Correct. Okay. Is there a minimum coverage that owners can purchase?
Well, yes, we customize the coverage to fit everyone's needs that call us. So it's kind of a hard answer to say what's the minimum that you can get because the minimum is different per person on that.
Okay,
But yes,
depending on
we
their
do,
financial.
depending on their case, right? What they're looking for, what they're able to get as well. Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, what kind of relief do you expect going forward?
So insurance, like I said, is stabilizing, not as fast as we would like. We have more markets coming into the area. Um, some are coming now, new rates. But basically before Ian, our rates were a lot lower.
Oh, I know, like a third.
About a third, yeah. So we can't, I don't think, personally, I don't believe that we'll see that anytime soon, just because of all the claims that we've had from both Irma and Ian. So it's been kind of
Yes.
like back to back. But the good thing is that there are companies that weren't prior or previously writing that are now writing again, and other companies that have come into the state. So it does give some competition and widens the market, if you will.
I didn't prep you with this question, but suppose we have another big storm this year.
Mhm.
Then what?
Well, so I always tell my clients, always make a claim, whether or not you think they're going to pay it or not. And the reason I say this is because, one, if it's a catastrophic loss, your rates will not go up. The only reason that they do go up is if everyone has them, right?
Right.
But when you call your insurance company, you get an adjuster to go out there and give you a free inspection and let you know how much, what the extent of the damage is, and how much it's going to cost versus what you have in your insurance. So even if it's less than your deductible or it's not covered, at least you
Hmm.
know what it is and it's a fair,
That's interesting because most
yeah.
people think it's like car insurance. If you have a
Yeah.
claim, your rates go up, but that isn't the case.
No, your rates will go up if you have a claim like water damage, which is for a different day, but that like a leak or something like that that has
Hmm.
nothing to do with an act of God.
Not
That's a
flood, but an
different thing.
interior leak.
Interior, yeah. But with act of God, I always encourage my clients to do that because one, if let's say we have multiple storms in a quick succession, like in 2004 we
Don't even
had
say
four
that.
storms. Yeah. So a lot of times the insurance companies will say, well, this was prior damage from another storm and you didn't report it. So we're not going
Ooh.
to cover it. So that's why, you know, it's best, I say, to get them out there and they can check it each and every time. And what's the worst they're going to say is no.
Well, I think just about everybody in the area right now has a new roof. So that's a
Mhm.
good thing.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And the new roofs hold up. An older roof does not.
Correct. Correct. Yes.
Okay. There's a lot of people that own outright, called cash buyers or cash owners, and they often self-insure. Is
Mhm.
this wise or are they taking a big risk?
Yes. I say that they are always taking a big risk because whether or not they use their insurance, if they have it, basically their insurance is 80 to 90% absorbing the risk, whether or not they
Hmm.
use it. So if they do have it, I would say it's better because um, if you don't have it, basically all of that is on you and it could,
True.
be a lot more. So what we do, we always can customize our coverage for cash buyers. Like we were talking about, like what's the least amount of insurance you can get. We can always customize that, and that would be like a one-on-one thing.
True. Like for a cash buyer, they could get a ridiculously high
Deductible or
deductible.
whatever the case.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
because they could self-insure to a point, like catastrophic insurance is what they can have.
Or even ex-wind. A lot of people,
Yes.
they
Don't
don't want to
count. Don't
go
give me
with
the
wind,
hurricane, but give me
which I don't know why, but
well, that's
yeah,
something that might happen, might not happen. If their house is in good shape, they might not get hit.
right.
That's what they're thinking. But I mean, of course, liability you would want, fire you would want, and these kind of things.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what's the best way to avoid overpaying for insurance? Because I know like new policies coming in are higher than ones a year ago. And,
Yeah.
how do you compare apples to apples when you're buying insurance?
So you always want to run it by your agent, and that is the most important thing because there's so many people that just go online and they buy a policy by themselves and they don't know what they're buying or they don't know what they should have. And there's a lot of extra coverages. Well, not just that, but on regular policies, like optional coverages
Hmm.
that can be eliminated or can be weeded out. So that's why it's so important to speak with a knowledgeable agent that can identify what you need and can accommodate you because of that.
I noticed this a lot with the contents because I
Hmm.
just kind of went through this. and they gave me a content of like $250,000. I look around my house and I'm like, where?
Right. So yeah, you can always decrease the contents to 25% of the building replacement cost. And a lot of people are opting for actual cash value to save $400 or $500 up to $1,000 on their
Hmm.
premiums from replacement costs. So that's
True.
always another option too.
Right. If you have a
Um,
10-year-old couch, certainly it's worth $50, right? It might be a treasure to you, but to somebody else, that's kind of what it's worth. So that's
right,
interesting. That's very good information,
right. And then the
especially as
optional
your
coverage,
furniture ages.
right. And
All
the
right.
optional coverages people don't think of, those are like the bells and the whistles, like identity theft,
No, that's a pretty big
refrigerated
thing, but a
expense.
lot of companies do cover
Sell
that
that.
through other options.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying don't do it through your homeowners. Look at a different option for that. And then there's other things like refrigerated goods.
Oh,
There are different things. Like I said, we won't go through all of them, but they're optional coverages that don't come standard to a homeowner's policy. When you add all of those up,
you're
sometimes
paying a
it doesn't
lot.
make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and my message to everyone, and I'm sure you'll tell them to, come
Mhm.
July, empty out your freezer and refrigerator.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there's snowbirds, there's a checklist usually that I would tell my
Yeah,
customers,
it's
like,
not the time to go out and spend $1,000 on meat and seafood.
correct. Yeah. Yeah. And like basically shut your water off at the main, bleed the lines, cover your toilets with plastic wrap, put a little
If
bleach
you
in
leave,
them,
of
things like
course.
that. If you leave. Yeah.
If you leave. And of course, when
If
you
you leave.
leave, board your house up. Don't rely
Yeah.
on your neighbors and friends to do it for you.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about because we love our snowbirds. We love them and we just want them to be safe as well and knowledgeable because they come here and they don't really know what to expect.
Yeah, they really don't have any idea. And yes, exactly. But you kind of expect August, September are, and sometimes October are our storm seasons.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometime we didn't get a hurricane when I moved here. I think it was 27 years. None of the
Hmm.
houses had storm protection. It just
Hmm.
was like, what?
Hmm.
And that came later on. And now everybody, I think it's an overkill what they're getting, but it's
Hmm.
good. It does work out to be nice.
Yes.
Anyway, is there
Absolutely.
anything else that you want to tell them about
Well,
hiring an agent, having your own agent in your pocket to
yes,
do
that's
that works for you,
exactly.
just like a
That's
realtor? It's benefit.
exactly. Exactly. Because you wouldn't sell your own house in the market. You wouldn't go and try to
No, they
buy your
do.
own house. They do? Oh,
They
goodness.
try.
Because
They
here's the
lose a
thing, I would
fortune. It'd be cheaper to hire me.
exactly hire Barbara people. She knows what she's doing. And I think that's what it is that a lot of people they think they're saving money, as you know, by doing it themselves, but they really forfeit a lot of coverages that they could be, that they don't even know that they need. You know what I
True.
mean?
It's a bit mind-boggling. And if you're not in the
Hmm.
business, how would you know the ins and outs and exactly what you need?
Exactly. And that's what I can't stress that enough is to have a knowledgeable agent that can sit down and identify the needs of the customer tailored to what they're looking for, to what they, because not everyone's the same. And for us, we shop the market so that they don't have to.
Right. And
We're
you go through
independent.
policies and carriers consistently to find out
Yes,
who's offering what. And nobody,
correct.
I don't know anybody that has the patience to do that. Certainly I don't.
Yeah, and it takes the legwork out for the customer themselves. But at the same time, I have seen it where they, more often than not, with these new online companies that are
Yes.
surfacing, that they'll go online and they'll buy coverage that's not even compatible to what they had before. So we look at that and it's kind of so it could be a disservice for them. They think that they're saving money, but
Or it's
instead they're
easy. They could
actually
click the button and now they have insurance, but it might not be the right thing at all.
correct, especially if they have a mortgage or if they have a lien on their house. Yeah, there's a lot of
Okay.
things that
How
come
about if
along.
there is a tragedy and somebody needs repair people or inspectors
Mhm.
or that kind of thing? Do you have
We do.
resources
So
that you could send them
we
out?
do. I do.
That's
So
great.
with every quote that I do, if they need an inspection, I give a list of at least three inspectors.
Okay.
And also if, on the event that they have issues with their house, they need a handyman, we have insureds as well that have left their cards. So we know that they can do that. We refer them out. Obviously, they can use whomever they want, but we like to, give a network of support to
Yeah.
them
No,
so
true. I
they're not
mean,
alone.
certainly if people, the kitchen floods or whatever, they're
Yeah,
like, what do I do?
yeah.
They don't know, who to call, the restoration companies. I mean, they just don't have them, they don't know who to call.
And sometimes with these restoration companies, they can work out a deal if you don't have insurance
Hmm.
or if it's below your deductible. So I try to tell people, even if your insurance won't take care of it, um, still call them and see if you can work out a deal with them because it's with water damage, that's the worst kind of claim that there is.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it grows and grows and
And you
grows
have
and
to
it
get
becomes
it
more
taken
expensive.
care of. I mean, there's no question about it.
Yeah,
So that's really
absolutely.
serious.
Absolutely.
Well, I always think it's best to have a dedicated local insurance agent on your side to keep you up to date with the changes come up to date with concerning policies and property damages and homeowners insurance. If you're looking for an agent that'll take care of you and who person to call when disaster strikes, I really recommend Chrystie Castillo. Because she'll be
You
there for you, and that's why I invited her on the channel. And if you have any more questions, you can contact me. If you're looking to buy or sell, or you know somebody that is, you can call me. Okay?
absolutely call Barbara.
And I think we got it. Let me just see. Okay, I'm gonna end the recording now.
Mhm.
All right.